baik tu dia jadi biar tahu रेडियो फीजी बहुत रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, PM calls for global cooperation. SODELPA has no money to campaign. And Housing Authority customers apply for relief assistance.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says Fiji is fighting the climate crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic all at once. In his message from Kandavu, the Prime Minister says the crisis is testing the limits of our people's resilience. Bainimarama, who is helping deliver relief supplies to those on the front lines of Tropical Cyclone Harrell's recent devastation, says during his visit to the outer islands, Fijians have shown the power of hope to overcome even the greatest challenges.
Children, as they watch our boat dock and greet us with smiles and hopeful eyes. The parents, as they carry boxes of supplies, hopeful that they will be able to take care of their families again. And the community leaders, filled with hope, as they begin rebuilding from the storm.
Bainimarama says all Fijians share his gratitude to development partners, including Australia, New Zealand and the multilateral banks whose support has given Fiji hope. He says the scale of the current challenges demand global cooperation.
I'm not only talking about assistance, I'm talking about multilateralism. In the difficult months to come, as our economies struggle under the strains of this global pandemic, I hope to see global cooperation strengthened in response to these historic challenges.
The Social Democratic Liberal Party has no money to campaign for the 2022 general election. SODELPA leader Sitiveni Rambuka already has his hands full in trying to unify the party from a division which threatens to topple its foundation. Financial woes at a time when the party needs to start planning its campaign are making matters worse.
No, we don't have enough funds to campaign effectively.
While the party support base has stood by in spirit and in commitment, little has been coming forward to keep SODELPA afloat.
We need to keep on board the support we have from those who have contributed. We're limited by the Constitution that no one can contribute more than $10,000 per annum, and not many of us were able to do that. In fact, I don't think any party supporter contributed 10,000, apart from those of us in Parliament through deductions from our pay and limited to 10,000 per year.
Rambuka has revealed that the party does not have anyone with deep pockets backing them financially.
We will depend a lot on the constituencies and fundraising by the Finance Committee in Fiji. We don't have any big businesses or business houses, and we know that business houses are not allowed to contribute, but individuals who have the finances can contribute. We do not have any.
As it stands, SODELPA has little chance of canvassing for support until internal issues which are causing a rift are settled.
Areas I'm looking at is working on unity first. When you're united, then you can have a bigger, stronger force to go for fundraising.
Further revelations from the SODELPA leader that the division will likely result in a loss of funding from its overseas branches, which are the largest chunk of their campaign contributors. Estimates are that 2/3 of funding will be lost from Australia and 1/3 each from New Zealand and the United States. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
749,359 individuals, or 85% of the Fiji population, have been assessed for COVID-19 in under 2 months. These are based on statistics from the Health Ministry's fixed and mobile fever clinics. Koroi Tandalala has more.
It's been 22 days since Fiji recorded its 18th or the last case of COVID-19 and 52 days since the first confirmed case was announced. Of the 18 patients, 14 have recovered and are still in self-isolation in their homes, while the 4 active patients are in isolation and in stable condition.
3 of the 4 cases are in NAVUA isolation facility and 1 is in Lautoka. The close contacts of these patients have been cleared and they now have been discharged to their homes.
He says 117 people who traveled from overseas remain at 4 government isolation facilities in Nandi.
They are on various days, number of days, and as per our protocol, they'll be tested at the 14th day, and if they are negative, they'll be sent home to complete their quarantine period there. So far, none of them have showed symptoms, and those who have been discharged continually followed up by our health team in the division.
To date, 1,490 COVID-19 tests have been conducted. Koritandulala, FBC News.
A number of Housing Authority customers have applied for the COVID-19 relief assistance, with majority of the applications from the West coming from tourism industry workers. The authority has processed 70% of these applications. Faria Begum reports.
Loan repayment holiday is being provided by the Housing Authority to its customers affected by the COVID-19 crisis.
We've got close to 214 we received, 147 from the Central Division and 67 from Western Division. And majority of these 67 from the Western Division are the workers from the tourism sector.
The assistance include 3 months loan repayment holiday, extension of loan repayment without fees and interest-only repayment. Sen says some applications have been declined due to incorrect information and documentation.
We have written to the customers and asked them to provide further information so we can review this again.
The chief executive says it's too early to gauge what this financial year will be like for the authority.
Obviously, there would be a strain on our cash flow in terms of these customers' repayments are being deferred for next 3 months. But it's too early to determine the impact on the profit and loss.
The Housing Authority largely focuses on providing affordable housing to low-income earners in urban centres. Faria Begum, FBC News.
Up ahead, North women engage in barter system, and fish vendors expand services.
Natang ko proslan ngarse, go erkraki, do televizyon na barong na Radio FIJI 1, nandomo ibiti.
Radio FIJI 1 nandomo ibiti.
An off-duty police officer and a Fiji Corrections Services officer were arrested last night, alongside 30 others in relation to COVID-19 restriction breaches. The Southern Division recorded the highest arrests, with 14 for curfew breaches and 10 for sporting activities. Police say 3 juveniles aged 14, 15 and 16 were caught playing touch rugby with another 20-year-old in Tavirua. In Navua, 6 men were also arrested for playing touch rugby at the Pacific Harbour Beach. Both the Central and Western Divisions recorded 3 reports each of curfew breaches, while the Northern Division recorded 2 reports. With Mother's Day to be celebrated in most households tomorrow, the barter trading system that's taken the country by storm has made life much easier for women from the maritime islands in VANUA LEVU. As co-income earners for their families, today the women from Kavewa Island didn't have to spend hours selling seafood delicacies at the market, do their grocery shopping and then head back home. Eleanor Terangaiviu tells us why.
Despite the heavy rains this morning, these women from Kavewa Island in the district of Nandongo in Madhuwata eagerly awaiting their trade partners.
This is my first time to trade and it's so exciting doing this.
On a normal Saturday, these women can be seen sitting at the Lambasa Municipal Market selling seafood delicacies. But thanks to the Barter for a Better VANUA LEVU Facebook page, today they didn't have to sit and sell from the market.
We normally come as early as 8 a.m. to sell seafood, and we always reach home when it's dark because we try to sell everything to get enough money for our families.
What are these women getting in return? Groceries, mostly essential items, and according to them, the trades are worth it.
Given the amount of time we go out to sea to get this and to come here today, and what we get in return, it's always more and it's overwhelming.
The trades today were initiated by Tale Silin Barawi, one of the admins for the Barter for a Better VANUA LEVU Facebook page, as a means of helping the women of her village.
Apart from getting these seafood during the week, Saturday mornings they have to be up by 3 a.m. and get ready to come to Lambasa. They come by boat, then catch the bus, then they sell at the market for hours. This barter system has made life so much easier for them.
For many of these women, the barter trade has enabled them to secure contacts and form friendships. So these exchanges will definitely not be the last we see. Eleanor Turangeview, FBC News.
Fish markets were abuzz this morning as Fijians rushed to get their bundles today to avoid the last-minute rush for tomorrow's Mother's Day celebrations. And now with vendors expanding their service by cleaning the fish for their customers, they have recorded an increase in income. Koroi Tandulala reports.
Many fish lovers are willing to spend a few extra bucks to avoid the hassle of cleaning it at home.
I have been selling fish here for 6 years, and if customers want their fish cleaned as well, I also offer the service for an extra $3. This makes it easier for our customers when they take the fish home.
I think cleaning the fish before taking it home is a great idea. Firstly, it will help a lot when we take it home. There is no extra work in cleaning it. Secondly, it helps the vendors as well with an extra $3 given this current crisis that we are in.
I brought the fresh fish for the mothers of Suva. I got one customer, one mother here. So I'm giving the fresh fish on cheap price.
Some of these buyers opted to do their own cleaning just to add a personal touch to the activities planned for Mother's Day.
I will clean the fish myself because tomorrow is Mother's Day.
I think that the son can do it for the mother for tomorrow.
I buy this fish for myself. It's a Mother's Day, so I let my son, my kids, to go and clean the fish for me tomorrow.
Many of these vendors are counting their lucky stars, saying there has been minimal impact on their business due to the current crisis. Some young boys and girls who are cleaning the fish for the customers were too shy to come on camera, but have welcomed the new opportunity to earn some income for themselves. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
International Labour Organization's Director South Pacific Martine Karimli says policy decisions must be based on reliable data. Karimli has deemed the nationwide workplace survey, which begins from next Wednesday, of utmost importance, which will help find solutions on the effects of COVID-19 at workplaces. He says the ILO is pleased to be working with Fiji in conducting this exercise.
We do understand the Pacific is among the hardest situations economically by the pandemic. We know that tourism accounts a considerable part of the total exports in these countries. Tourism also has a large share in the employment. In Fiji, and colleagues will correct me if I'm wrong, this sector employs at least 10% of workers.
Turning overseas, the United States is also feeling the economic pain of coronavirus, as in the past 7 weeks, more than 33 million Americans have lost their jobs. For some, the subway has now become a refuge. In sports after the break, Skipper Cup competition confirmed to go ahead. And Roy KRISHNA looks at taking up coaching.
My name is Neha and I'm from Karavi, and Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fiji's top local rugby competition, the Skipper Cup and Vodafone VANUA Challenge, will go ahead once COVID-19 restrictions have been lifted. The tournament was scheduled to begin on March 28th with 12 rounds of competition. Due to the current crisis, the Fiji Rugby Union has had to make changes to its calendar. Karatavi with the details.
Fiji Rugby Union Chief Executive John O'Connor says plans to resume the games is still on the table.
We are planning both for competitions after COVID or when the restrictions are lifted. All competitions will still go ahead, but with revised dates. All kick-off date will all depend on the restrictions that are placed.
Nandrunga Rugby Union have not deviated from their goal of winning the Skipper Cup after losing to Suva for the past 2 years.
Preparing for the Skipper Cup, as usual, will still be the same. The only difference is the time management that we'll have since the shifting in dates.
Nandrunga Rugby Union Logistic Officer Viliame Ulinadeva says players have been working on their individual training during this lockdown.
Like every other union in Fiji, including the Fiji team, the individual programs, individual diet program to follow, even though they're not able to train as a squad together, but they do their own individuality during this lockdown.
The 2020 Skipper Cup competition will feature Yasawa and Lutoka after they finished in the top 2 of the Vodafone VANUA competition last year. Karlini Tavi, FBC Sports.
Fiji football national head coach Fleming Seretslev believes local players have potential. Since his arrival earlier this year, the Danish national has been working with players and district coaches to help lift the standard of football in Fiji. He says it's the physical component of the game that needs improvement.
Fiji has strong players. They have good abilities, but in my opinion, they can be even better than they are now at the moment. They need to have some tactical inputs, but they also need to have some physical inputs so that we actually can raise the physical level of the game.
Seretslev will be in Lambasa next week hosting a national coaching workshop where he will introduce his online coaching manual. Fiji football sensation Roy Krishna aspires to take up a coaching job once he retires from playing. Krishna, who had signed a 1-year contract with ATKFC last June, scored a total of 15 goals during the season. He has been getting offers from other overseas clubs, but says discussions are on hold due to the current crisis. Charter flights and same-day arrivals and departures are on the cards for New Zealand Super Rugby teams as they prepare to return to play under Level 2 protocols. But there is still a lot of work to be done to ensure the return is a safe one. A trough of low pressure remains slow-moving in the vicinity of the Fiji group and gradually drifting eastwards away from the country. A flood alert remains in force for the low-lying areas and areas downstream of Nayau Station in the Wainingbuka River. It has been cancelled for the Nawolau Station to Nausori Town. Taking a look at the map, looking at the west, very humid with clouds, heavy showers this afternoon. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a thunderstorm in parts of the areas this afternoon. And up north, some showers, mostly cloudy, expect scattered showers late at night. At sea, it's moderate to fresh easterly to northerly winds gradually becoming southerly later, moderate to rough seas. And turning to the tides, high tide at 8:19 p.m. with low tide at 2:16 tomorrow morning. Sunrise is at 6:23. Now for tomorrow, occasional showers, heavier times and few thunderstorms over VANUA LEVU, Taveuni and nearby smaller islands. Lau and Lomaiviti group, localized heavy falls may lead to flash flooding of low-lying areas. And tomorrow's temperatures will mostly be 30 degrees. And looking further on to Monday, cloudy periods with brief showers over eastern and interior parts of the larger islands. And recapping the main stories for tonight, PM calls for global cooperation. SEDELPA has no money to campaign, and Housing Authority customers apply for relief assistance. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question this week we're asking, do you think Sir Bill Beaumont's re-election as World Rugby Chair was the right outcome? Visit our FBC website to answer. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. And that's it from the news desk this evening. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable Mother's Day tomorrow. Until then, stay safe. Good night.
Bula, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.